So, yeah, Producers Price Index was released on Tuesday, and I was surprised. This is another name for this is wholesale inflation. The people who make things for us, how much are their raw pieces? And it actually popped up. And I was surprised that this was ignored, right? Because usually when you have wholesale inflation, it means that retail inflation is on its way in a couple months. But people ignored this particular report. And I think we have to, as savvy investors in the medium to long term, we need to keep that in mind. But then the big thing happened on Wednesday. Consumer Price Index, which is retail inflation, came in as expected. You'll notice it's still high. And I think people forget what inflation is, right? Inflation is how much prices are increasing every year, right? And so it's not an amount, it's a velocity, right? So if you had something that cost a dollar last year and your inflation is 5%, it's going to cost a dollar 5, but it's not gonna cost a dollar, a dollar 10. It's gonna be 5% on a dollar 5, right? So it's like, instead of a dollar 10, it's gonna be like a dollar 12 and a half on year 2 if you keep it at that 5% rate. So it's actually like a speed. It's not a fixed amount. And so I think people get confused about that. So 3% is significantly different than 2%, right? And even 2%, if you think about it, something that costs a dollar, this year will cost not a dollar 10 at the end of 5 years. It'll cost like a dollar 25 at the end of 5 years. So even 2% is considered, for those folks who are like, well, back when I was a kid, pet candies cost a penny. Well, that's inflation. And we really, I give it to the Fed. They really do need to get it under control. Otherwise, it's not just our paychecks that are increasing, it's prices, it's everything is increasing.